Hey, today we're going to talk about when somebody starts with a straight razor, how to strop the blade. So, when you begin learning to strop, you are definitely going to make some mistakes. You'll cut the blade. I'm sorry, you will cut the strop, you'll put a lot of nicks in it, and so it's good to start with what I think of as a beginner strop. And the one that I purchased when I started is from Whipped Dog. The guy's name is Larry there, and he's got this, I think it was $14, and there are nicks and cuts all over it. While you are at the Whip Dog site, I would also recommend purchasing the balsa wood. And if you email Larry and say you're getting started and you want the full starter kit, then he'll make sure you get everything you need. Balsa wood is very flat, and this has grit, like not sandpaper, but really fine grit on here. And for most beginners will mess up the edge on the straight razor. And with this, you can fix it most of the time, which prevents you from having to send it off to pay someone to hone it again. And then plus, you don't have your razor while they're doing that. Now, once you finish cutting your starter razor, you do need a good strop. It will last forever. The good strops are going to start at about $75 or $80. My personal favorite is from Straight Razor Designs, and I have no financial connection to either of these folks. I got the Straight Razor Designs longer version of their English bridle leather, and it is awesome. I think that these are about 95 bucks, but I'm going to tell you what, worth every penny. So when you get to a nice strop, it's going to have two strops on there, which you can see. Now, on this one, traditionally it's been wool or felt, and you can get these with that if you pay more, but these come standard with nylon webbing, similar to a safety belt in your car, just a bit rougher. I would definitely go with the webbing. It's really, really good. Even though it's less expensive and it's not traditional, it does a better job than the felt. So I would go with that. And let's see, I think that covers it. Let's head off to the bathroom and look how we use these things. Okay, so the strop you can see here is that starter strop that I got from Whip Dog. And a couple of things to remember, keep the strop tight and your touch light. So, and see how I'm going nice and slow. When you start off, the key is to go slow. You can avoid a lot of mistakes by doing that. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you a 3-inch strop, but with a thinner one like this, you have to do X strokes. And what I'm doing here, I've got it tight. I'm not pressing hard. And I'm going slow. I think a lot of trouble happens when people think about how fast they've seen stropping in a cartoon or something and try to do that. When you start, go really slow, the speed will come naturally. Now, a couple of things. You'll notice that by the time I touch the edge down to the strop, I've already got it moving that way. Then when I turn it over, I'm turning it over on the spine. I'm not turning it over on the blade edge. So, come up here, notice turn on the spine, and then come back down here, turn on the spine. And a regular strop will have two different pieces of stropping on it, so I'd probably do, 40 passes getting started. There's no magic number of passes. The way that you tell is whether the shave is comfortable. So that shows you this part. So now, once you quit cutting up your beginner strop, you'll get a good one. So, on this one, this is a 3-inch strop, though I still do some X strokes on it. So, we're going back and forth. Remember, hold the strop tight, keep the touch light. You can see that how I'm flipping it over with my thumb. Now, at this point, and when you start going faster, you'll start hearing sound. There's no correct sound, and the sound will vary based on what kind of strop you have and what kind of blade you're using. What's important is that you hear the same sound going each way, because that indicates that you are using the same pressure on each side. I didn't mention it, and you can probably see, but I'm not holding, the spine goes flat. So when you're stropping a razor, you don't have to worry about the angle of the, like if you were sharpening a knife on a whetstone. You keep the spine down. Then I would, when I'm stropping for myself, I do about 20 regular, then I'll do 10 X strokes. And when I'm doing X strokes, I go slow because that's what I need to do to keep it right. And then I'll do a final 10 with even a lighter touch than before. I found that ending with super light touch actions makes a big difference in the quality of the shave. When you go to the leather side, you'll always hold it tight and rub your palm until the friction creates heat that you can feel. And here, it's going to be exactly the same as you did on the other side. Remember to go slow. Now, I'm going to speed up some because I want you to hear the sound, and I'm going to make sure that I do some where it doesn't sound the same. And those sounds that's sounding the same each way. Remember, yours doesn't need to sound like mine, because if a different strop and a different blade will cause it to sound differently, what's important is that you're getting the same sound each way. So let me see if I can make it not do that. That's a little different, but if it's even though I'm not generating a significantly different sound, if you generate one, you certainly will be able to tell. Okay, so we've talked about how to get started stropping. I've shown you how to do it. To kind of summarize, remember you'll want a starter strop. I personally recommend the one from Whip Dog as well as the Balsa kit. And then you'll need a nice strop. There are a lot of places that have them. I'm a real believer in the English bridle leather from Straight Razor Designs. You're set up and ready to go. Thanks for watching.